Getting great ideas is awesome. So today I'm going to give you a few little pointers about making the most amazing orange cake that requires no flour or flour products and absolutely no sugar apart from the fruit that's in the cake. And this recipe is fail-safe and it's absolutely delicious, and I promise you that you'll have no cake left by the next day. So to start with, you'll need 4 tasty oranges. Since it's an orange cake, it's really important the oranges that you choose. You don't want anything bitter, you want some sweet oranges. You'll also need 200 grams of fresh dates. I know that they can be quite expensive, but if they're soft, at least you're not going to get bits throughout your cake. Shop around, because you can get fresh dates from something like $22 a kilo all the way through to these fresh ones that I bought for $12. So then we just need 250 grams of almond meal. I prefer to use the almond meal with the skin on it because it's got fibre and it's more wholesome, but it's up to you. Next we need 100 grams of coconut flour. It's really important in recipes to measure stuff properly, or else even a little bit of a difference can change the texture in whatever it is that you're cooking. 6 eggs, 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of bicarb of soda. Okay, so that's all your ingredients. As you can see, no sugars, no syrups, none of the like. Okay, let's start off. The first thing in order to prepare for this cake is to take your 4 oranges. Good idea to give them a good wash. If you want them totally clean of stuff, put a little bit of vinegar in your water and just scrub the oranges. 2 seconds, that's all it'll take you. Put these 4 oranges into a pot, fill it with water, bring it to a simmer and literally just let it be there for 2 hours. Make sure that every 10-15 minutes or the like, come back and just make sure that your water hasn't run out. Just top it up. Next, take your dates, put some warm water in it. This is just to soften it up so that we can puree it. Once it's pureed, it literally just looks like beaten sugar. So take your dates, soak them for at least half an hour. A little secret, just to soften them up quickly, is to put about 1/4 to half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. Fill it up, cover them with warm to hot water and just let them sit there for half an hour. Once it's happened, drain all the water out. What I have done is to take the water, which has actually got a sweetness to it. You can add this to anything, to milkshakes, to other cooking, whatever you want to make, and that's just the sugar from your dates. All we have to do now is puree the oranges, puree the dates. So I'm going to do that right now. You can use whatever you want. I just use one of these little whizzer things. But if you've got something nice and strong, these are just quite cheap. But you know, I suppose if you have a really good one, we'll whiz it up in 2 seconds. So I'm just going to quickly blend up these oranges, puree them as whole with the skin and all. Now that I've pureed the oranges, as you can see, you can puree them to whatever consistency that you want. But what I notice is when you puree them really on high, and it just makes it nice and fluffy and it aerates, and so your cake's going to be actually a lot more aerated. So they're the oranges. So once the oranges are done, I'm going to do the same things for the dates. Absolutely delicious. As you can see, that's all whizzed up and it's all caramel-like, which is beautiful. And really, it's a good base for when you make sticky date pudding. That's the secret ingredient. And nobody will know that they're dates. So you can put it in every other cooking of yours. And believe me, you can't taste date. It tastes more like caramel. So they're done. Easy. Oranges are done. And now we're going to do our eggs. So we've got the 6 eggs. And just to make this, because the cake does not have flour, which really rises, what you want to do is put as much air into each process that you can to keep it as fluffy as you can. So what I'm going to do is crack an egg, and between each egg cracking, I'm going to beat it until it's nice and fluffy. So let's start that process. And then we'll look at combining the other ingredients. Okay, now that I've done that, as you can see, the eggs are really fluffy. So the longer that you do that, the more fluffier they're going to be. So that's that. In the meantime, of course, as my brain is just sporadic and jumps from one thing to another, I forgot to mention that you've got to turn your oven on. Even if you turn it on now, it's no biggie. You want it at 160 degrees, but if it's fan force, then at 140. So you don't want it to burn, you want it to cook slowly, because it is a cake without the flour, and it's going to take you about an hour to an hour 15 to cook. And at the same time, just dust your pan, just spray it easy with oil, bit of coconut flour, bang, bang, bang. At the same time, you put some music on and have a little dance if you want to. So that's all buttered, oiled, and ready to go. So next, all I have to do is add my oranges and my dates to the eggs. So in between each one, I'm just going to give it a good whiz to keep that air in. So in goes my oranges, time for dates, and then a little whizzing. And really, we've more than half completed this cake. So okay, so the dates are in, whiz that up, and move on to the next step. That's done. If you have a look at that, that's really well combined, and it's just so airy and absolutely creamy and gorgeous. So that's that part done. That's easy. Next, all you have to do, just to keep the air into that, is take your almond meal, sift it. I guess you could use a proper sifter, but of course I like doing things a little crazy and different. So sift your flour, your coconut flour as well, and then and your bicarbonate raising agents, and I'll get back to you. Alright, we are nearly done. So all we have to do is literally combine the sifted dry ingredients into the wet, just a little at a time. But what you want to do is, because there's so much air in that, you just want to fold it in. Literally just take big round folds. So you cut through the mixture. And some more. And really after this step, we are done. Okay, this smells so amazing, I wish you could smell it. But what you'll have to do is just make it yourself. Then you can smell it all you like. Okay, that's it. I've just literally just folded those ingredients. You can see how light and fluffy that is. It's beautiful. All I have to do now is just stick it into my tin and put it into the oven. Okay. Let's try not to get my necklace all cakey. And you'll notice that the cake will rise a little bit, but it's not going to rise a crazy amount, because this is actually going to keep it really, really moist. Okay, so that's done. All I'm going to do is stick it into the oven now at the 140 degrees. And this cake, I know with my oven that it'll take me an hour and 15 minutes. But in an hour, come back to your oven, have a look at the cake, take a little stick, poke it, and just make sure that it comes out clean rather than with little things stuck on it. Alright, back, and the cake's cooked. You can eat it any way that you like. I love chocolate on my cake, but before I spread it and show you, one thing that I suppose we only get better when we learn. So I made a mistake, and I don't want you to make a mistake. So last time I made it in one of these tins, which is really important, because I realised because the cake is so soft and moist, please make it in a good, nice, hard cake tin. So there's my beautiful cake. You can see all the almond meal inside. Smells delicious. And what I'm going to do is, you can put ice cream, cream, yogurt, whatever you want to. I've just melted some 90% cocoa chocolate, and I'm going to drizzle that on my cake. And then I've grated some orange zest. Make sure you wash it first, And these are part of, I cooked an extra orange, so they taste really good on the cake. And of course, who doesn't love 100% raw cocoa beans? Just for that extra crunch.